Hi Aquarius, welcome to your monthly reading. I'm Ashley Rose and this is your monthly reading for January 2022. Happy New Year. How are you? How was your holiday season? We got a lot going on this year, but we are going to be starting this reading off with 7 cards for the overview of your month, an oracle card, then we're going to pull 3 cards for your love life, 3 to clarify, and we will end with an affirmation. But back to what I was saying, yeah, this year week's kind of coming in hot. 2021, we walked in very nervous, very unsure with kind of like where life and the universe was going to take us, what was going to even happen this year, coming from 2020 just being very, very exhausting, trying time. And 2022 kind of comes with a very opposite energy of excitement, and we're walking into this year kind of like I've been describing it as just waking up from a long nap, like being very groggy about what's going on around us, and we're just like, it's like we're waking up. We're waking up to a whole new way of being and a whole new way of life. It's very exciting, but it can feel a little agitating, a little nervous, kind of, we want to identify it as anxiety, but what I really think is that there's a lot of things that are going to unfold this year that we can't really prepare ourselves with now. 122 being the number of the, master number of the builder. It is a, whatever you are willing to put your energy into creating, into building, will have, a long lasting foundation to really become something that provides abundance, that provides security, that provides structure, where you can kind of grow with it and build something, really truly, remarkable in your life that, matches your dreams and your desires. This is like life path type stuff. We start the month off with a new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of the worker. They're known for coming up with the plans, implementing the plans, having the strategy, the technique, everything that needs to execute something perfectly. That's a Capricorn. They put in the work, right? With it being a new moon, new moons are a fresh start to the lunar cycle. It's a time to set new intentions. Wow. It's a time to set new intentions, think about what we want to, create in this new year. I love that it's literally is like at the beginning of the year to kind of set the tone for how this next year is going to be, or at least get us thinking about what we want to do. And with it being in Capricorn, we are, coming up with the plan, coming up with the action, what we want to do, what is the best way forward for us to execute our dreams properly. That's what we're asking ourselves. Okay, hello, present at the bottom of our reading. I love it. Getting back to what I was saying. Because then we go into Mercury retrograde that happens January 13th, and that's going to be a time where we pull in and we come in to reflect on everything that we've learned, so we can observe our behaviors, we can observe our patterns, the way we communicate, the way we go about making our dreams realities. We can observe all of those things while we're going inward, and that way when we come out of Mercury retrograde, we know what we do, we know what we need to do, we know what we need to change, we know what we need to implement, and we have all of the necessary information to move forward. And then we're going to be in Aquarius, so that is to move forward, to the beat of our own drum with an expanded vision and understanding of our future, right? We have also in retrograde Venus, so our relationships are getting a makeover. That's also in Capricorn. There's a lot going on in Capricorn this month, the beginning of this month, with it being in, we start off with the sun in Capricorn, the moon's in Capricorn, we got Venus in Capricorn, there's a couple other placements going on, but we're going to get a rework to our relationships and how we build our connections. If you haven't watched my what to do or what's to come in 2022 video, there's my plug to go watch it now. But basically the big themes this year are balance, harmony, our intuition, getting in touch with our spirituality. We don't need to be terribly spiritual people, but we need to cultivate a practice that we're doing every day so that we can clearly get the insight and the messages that we're receiving, that we're trying to communicate with ourselves, right? Our higher self, to get out of this, ego survival way of life and listen more to what we truly want, what we really desire, and then also our relationships. So that connection. We've gone, a couple years without having that. And, now we have we have a really big divide. And we're going to be learning this year that there's a lot more that we can do together when we're working together than when we're working against each other. And It's going to be finding community in places that we really didn't see fit for ourselves, or we really couldn't see ourselves doing those things, but now we're helping each other in new ways, and we're coming together for our own goals and a bigger goal, and it's going to be very transformative. And then we have Jupiter is in Pisces, and Jupiter is the lucky planet, mixed with Pisces is the planet of the, our dreams, our intuition, our spirituality, getting in touch with those things, right? Which makes total sense. It's going to be important makes total sense why it's important for us to cultivate a daily spiritual practice. Maybe it's just 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, or, you do a little yoga, you stretch, do some stretches before you go to bed, something that connects you with yourself, because when we can tap into our spirituality in the next 6 months, mixed with all this Capricorn energy of applying our plan, mixed with our spirituality, there's so much luck to be had. And there's literally it's going to feel like magic in the silliest sense, because literally things are going to be happening that way, because our mind, body, and our spirit are working together in harmony and working together in balance. And it's really trying to get us into the groove of what that looks like. So it's going to feel a little uncomfy at first, right? That anxiety and it's going to feel like we're kind of dusting off some things, or we're riding a bike. But once we get riding and once we learn how to do it, it's something that we're going to be able to tap into for a while, or not for a while, but something we're going to just know how to tap into. I mean, Jupiter will move into other placements, but this is going to be very important, and very important for us learning how to do now. So it's very exciting stuff. You're going to hear me talk about balance a lot. That's come up for everybody, because really we need to learn how to do that before we can bring any of these things in, because what we all want to be bringing in are big things, and we have a lot to be working on, but just a lot to create, and for us to appreciate it and love it and really bring it in its truest authentic form. We gotta bring that balance. We gotta harmonize it, get it moving and grooving. Okay, all right, Aquarius. Well, very powerful reading coming off the bat, let me just tell you. We got four major arcanas, 2 court cards. The only minor is the 7 of Cups in reverse, because I love it, because we're starting the month off very clear, very connected to our intuition and our vision. We're not allowing ourselves to kind of escape the moment. We understand, which I love this about you, Aquarius, starting off this month very in to yourself and your energy, very standing into your authenticity. I'm feeling like the star energy, which I'm surprised it didn't pop up, but it's already kind of present here. And we have this Queen of Cups after, so I feel like them together gives me what I need. This star energy of just knowing your dreams, knowing your desires, and standing in them confidently, having faith, seeing the beauty that you can create in your hands, and seeing the dream in here, and knowing that you have what it takes within you, the magic inside of me. We literally even have a magician right here, so I might as well just hold them all up, to take what you're envisioning up here and bring it into this reality. And again, that's like Jupiter and Pisces, right? That's this magic of being able to make these things happen. And it needs to serve to you as proof that you can do it, because what's in the middle of your reading is the moon. So I want you to pay attention to your fears and be very observant of how they play a part in your life and how they play a part in the decisions that you make. Because this journey that you're going on, you're very excited about it. You know that you have all the capability inside of you, but something seems scary. There's a doubt. There's a fear. This, it's a long road, or maybe it's dark and it's scary. You can't really tell what's going on, because these animals, it's very primal, right? This makes us think of our ego. Very primal state of there's these animals here, there's this lobster, you're going down this journey, there's water, so it's it's emotional. You're going down this journey, and you can't really tell where it's going to take you. There's these 2 towers that look like they're going to fall. You don't know who's standing in them, what the worry is going to be like, and it's dark, right? We can't see where we're going. And again, the moon is a symbol for our fear. So this road is something we're excited about. We want to go down. We can create it, and we believe in it, but there's still a fear that we need to work through, which I think that's why Mercury retrograde is going to be very pivotal to everybody. It's not going to be something that we externally see, but something that we're going through internally. So as I say that, be mindful to people as we go out and about in the world, and know that everybody's going through something right now, and everybody's going through some deep changes within them, to help them identify some of these fears that are holding us back, because all of this is magic. And then these fears kind of come up, and then we see this justice in reverse. So Mercury retrograde, you're going to be feeling like you are walking on clouds. Your, Aquarian energy is just going to be, oh, and I love that. I mean, you're water bearers, and this isn't like an air sign. It's Queen of Cups, not Queen of Swords, but you have to do with water. You're water bearer, and I love that here. It's that symbol of that. And she's got one foot in the water and one on the ground. So that's, again, balance. Balancing our spiritual self with our physical self is going to be super important, even in this card, right? Because our fears are being brought to the surface. They're being brought up. They're what's stopping us from truly obtaining what we need and what we want in this life. And so it's okay. I mean, it's really okay when they pop back up, because it's just an indication of what's stopping you. And when we can identify that, take responsibility, make a plan how we're going to work through this fear, literally sky's the limit, and you've just created a catalyst for change, right? You just literally chose to be like a phoenix and rise from the ashes, right? A little butterfly coming out of cocoon, because we're not going to let these fears stop us from what we're doing. It's funny because right before I started doing this, I was watching this video called The 5-Second Rule with this lady, Mel Robinson. Literally the first video I ever saw from her. But I feel like this is really important to tell you, so that's what I'm going to share. She had this thing called the 5-second rule, and she was talking about how, in the space between confidence and doubt is our life, and we have 5 seconds to kind of change the way that we choose to react to that. And so in those 5 seconds, you're going to count when you feel a thought of doubt, or you feel like you don't want to, you feel scared, you feel anxious, count yourself back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring you back to this present moment of what you're doing. And then in those 5 seconds, have the courage to push through that uncomfortable feeling, because pushing through this uncomfortable feeling for you is going to restore the balance that we're feeling. This is justice in reverse. So we got imbalance. We have ideas coming from a low place. We have the scales upside down. Our desires don't even know what to do with themselves. And it's our turn to take back our confidence and take back the control, because in all the things that we can try to control externally, the only thing that we can control is that 5 seconds. That 5 seconds where we decide we're going to be confident and move through it anyways. That we are not going to listen to ourselves doubt, or listen to ourselves critique, or think that other people are going to be better, or allow ourselves to judge ourselves for what we haven't done and what we want to do, and just do it anyways. Allow yourself to experience life. Allow yourself to find new meanings and new ways of understanding and new joy and satisfaction. That's living. That's life. And when we stop it and we doubt, we stop that flow of energy. And we're not water, you're air, and air likes to it just exists, right? It just moves with the wind, right? Or you're a water bearer, and so the water flows, right? You're like alchemy. It's finding the alchemy in the situation. Moving forward, but the 5-second rule I think is really great. So look her up, check it out. But I thought that was really interesting, and I think it's very fitting for your reading, especially when we could be walking through this doorway and feeling unsure, ungrounded. That's another theme, or not like a theme, but something I do want to touch on is that with everything being in Capricorn right now, with the Jupiter and Pisces, it's very helpful to help us remain grounded, because this is a time where we're receiving so much insight. Our crown chakra is like on 10 right now, because we were receiving so many spiritual downloads, so much, our intuition is heightened right now, that it's hard for us to stay grounded. And that's where we can kind of dip back and forth between our fears and all these things that make us feel unbalanced. Maybe it's old behaviors, limiting beliefs, patterns. But what's going to be really beneficial and helpful is that the Emperor is coming in to help us lead and be the leaders in our life that we see ourselves to be, to move through this uncomfortable feeling where he was upside down, baby, but now he's flipped himself around to where he is the support and he is the stability, and he creates the structure in his life, not his doubts, not his fears, not what he maybe be stuck in the past. That's what we're coming through. That's what we're working through. That's what you're going to be working through during Mercury retrograde. But he sits here on a solid throne in the space that he created, in the doubt that he got rid of, and he's ready to build the life that he sees for himself. He's ready to lead his kingdom. He's got a long beard. That's a symbol of being wise, having a lot of wisdom. He has the key to life in his hands. He has the answers for his life, and you have the answers for yours, and you're going to be receiving them this month. So pay attention, especially during Mercury retrograde. We're not taking action. We are not, implementing anything new. We are, again, just observing and taking notes. So jot down ideas that you get, jot down things that you want to do, things that you want to start, stuff that you're inspired by, because at the end of the month, we got Page of Wands, not of the Wands. And then you're tapped back into that creative energy. You're tapped back into your source, and you are aligned again with your purpose and what you have going on. We just needed to take a little detour. We had to walk around our fears a little bit to figure out what we're doing, kind of inspire us to light a little fire under our butts to keep us moving forward, right? So we can, again, kind of take this wise energy that, we are spiritual beings that have been here, that have done this thing before, that have come to be a part of this very moment. So we're going to tap back into our inner child, and we're going to allow that to play. We're going to allow that to sing. We're going to allow our ideas and our inspirations to come from a youthful well that lives inside of us. That's our solar plexus. It's right here, baby. Okay? It's right inside of you, always. And again, the Emperor just sits on a solid throne. It's solid. You're solid. He's got armor on underneath the things that he's wearing. So he's protected in this adventure, in this next phase of him building his kingdom. He's protected through this. Nobody's going to come and try to shoot it down. He's got it, okay? And then there's rams on his throne he's sitting on. And Ram is a symbol for Aries, and Aries are like brand new babies in the world, excited. He also stands for Aries. Brand new babies in the world, excited to kind of like take life by their hands and do everything they can and create what they want, right? And so that's what we're going to be doing. You're going to be creating exactly the life that you want. So take the time and just love yourself through the process. Be present with yourself through this, because for you to get here, we have to do this, and we have to learn how to instill that balance again, because then we have King of Swords here at the bottom. So you're here, you're present, your higher self knows. And this is a deal you've made with yourself. We're going to go through this because there's a nugget of knowledge in here that I need to find, that I need to resurrect and kind of dig up. And that's the whole point. So trust in the road, trust in the journey that you're taking yourself on. Because we have Unbound for our Oracle card. I love this. It's like 3 of them rising up. And it says releasing soul patterns, contracts, past lives. Yes, and look at them. They have like all this rope wrapped around them, and they're coming untwined. And this reminds me of the moon. Oh, I love, yes. And look, there's a moon up there, and that's what we're doing. We are releasing those old patterns. We are releasing old soul contracts. So Mercury retrograde, it might present you with people from the past, situations from the past, people like others from your past that are kind of coming along to symbolize that same type of cycle, that same type of dynamic, to see if you can move through it and you are ready to release it. I want to just read this really quick. 108. Unbound. It is time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns right now. Take a look at patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows, contracts that your soul made that may have an expiry date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from traumas of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is important to acknowledge how they have served you up till now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused by soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now have to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time for you to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. So you can say, I release old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live in the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. Yes! I love that. Literally, exactly. Because this month, with everything kind of in your favor, with all this cushion, that's also what I've been describing, is there's no more perfect of a time where everything is working in your favor and in your alignment to work through these old things. So if you have problems speaking up, it's time to use your voice. If you have problems, going after ideas, it's time to take a risk. It is time to move yourself forward in the direction of things that you really enjoy, because that's what you came here to do. And it wouldn't be popping up if you wouldn't be ready for it. All right, now we're going to move into our love reading. We have give your relationship a chance, work on partnership, the Six of Swords, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens, the Moon. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, the World. Oh, I love this, because I feel like these are telling us the relationship cards and then the tarot cards are like two different things, where the universe is like, please give yourself a chance, get to know this person, make the effort. And the tarot cards are like the journey to you kind of opening yourself up to that. It's been a hard one. You've had some relationships where you kind of had to run and flee, where people were really in it for your best interest and you thought that you were building something together. You had all these ideas about, the life that you would build with them, and then they just didn't, they didn't meet your expectations, and that was a disappointment. And now as you're in this new relationship and you're meeting new people, pay attention for water signs, pay attention for fire signs, even some air. And you have these spheres, right? We have the Moon. Again, it's popping up. These old past ties, maybe these are people from our past life that, we've kept ourselves bound to. Maybe we're playing out this toxic, relationship pattern, and it's been somebody from a past life the whole time, and it's time for us to learn and grow through this. So we're not repeating this same pattern anymore with this same soul. And then we have the World, and that's a completion, and that's achievement, and that's working through this fear that we're feeling, and this, what's keeping us from experiencing this, this deep, fulfilling love in our life. We're ready to do that, because what we create, we know we have control over, and we are creating something that's authentic, that's filled with love, that really speaks to us on an energetic, deep level that's here for us. So what comes in, allow it to be. It's weird to say during a Mercury retrograde, because usually that's not a time to start new relationships. But if somebody comes in, use your own discernment, listen to your gut, trust your intuition, but also allow it to grow on its own, because it's going to be really important that a lot of your energy is used for you working through these deep things within yourself. And so that way a relationship that does come in can just be light and fun, and you can allow it to take the life of its own, and without pressure of what could, shoulda, woulda be doing. All right, now it's time to get into our, there's too many cards, into our affirmation. If you would like to know more about me, you can go to ashleyrose.com. Follow me on Instagram as well. It's Ashley Rose Tarot, and the links to those are in the description. And we have, I feel my way into faith one step at a time. Yes, this is going to be a one step at a time process. Look at that Moon. Just giving us the reminder. And it's what it is. It's a little bridge from one thing to the next. And it's going to feel scary as we're walking across it, right? Because we're going to look down, it's going to be deep, and there's going to be a lot of demons and a lot of scary things kind of staring back up at us. But feel your way into it one step at a time, okay? I love you guys. That's where I'm going to leave it. I have such a good time with you today, and I cannot wait to see where the rest of January takes us. And I will catch you on the daily tarot readings. So, love you guys.